This is the Tamron 70-180 f2.8 lens for Sony E-mount cameras. It just came out earlier this year in 2020, and it's been in high demand and back-ordered ever since. In this video, I'm going to give you 3 things to consider before you buy this lens. The first thing to know about this lens is that it completes Tamron's holy trinity of lenses. If you've heard the term holy trinity of lenses, it refers to the 3 zoom lenses that a lot of photographers like to have on hand with them whenever they're out shooting. It includes a wide-angle lens, a mid-range lens, and a telephoto lens. Now, Tamron's been working on their own version of the holy trinity of lenses, and this 70-180 lens completes that collection. The other lenses include the 17-28 and the 28-75. Now, all 3 of these lenses have a constant f2.8 aperture, and they also have the same filter thread size of 67mm. This part is really helpful if you use a lot of different filters such as polarizers and graduated ND filters. You can swap them out between all 3 lenses. All 3 lenses also have a super affordable price point, which leads me to the second point, which is the cost of this lens, which is $1,200 US. Sony's version is a 70-200 f2.8 G Master lens, and it's very expensive, but it's a more traditional focal length. However, it's also a lot bigger and heavier, so the advantage with going with Tamron is not only a savings in cost, but also in size and in weight. This lens is more than 1.5 pounds lighter than the Sony version. Now, I don't have the Sony version with me, but I do have the Canon 70-200 f2.8 lens. This is my go-to telephoto lens that I've been using for almost a decade now. It's really great, but if I hold these 2 lenses up side by side, you'll see that this lens is a lot bigger and heavier, so it's closer in size and in weight to the Sony version. The problem with having such a big lens like this is that you often have to think twice about whether it's worth bringing with you on a trip or a landscape photography session. It takes up a lot of space in your bag and also weighs down on your shoulders as you're carrying it. This lens, on the other hand, is so small and lightweight that you can stick it in your bag and not even think twice about it. Even if you don't use it, it's not a big deal having it with you just in case. Now, case in point, this is my go-to travel camera bag, the Think Tank Turnstile 10 bag, and I really like it, but if I want to bring my 70-200 lens, it does not fit, unless it's the only lens that's in this bag. But if I stick it on this far corner here, I can't even get my zipper up over it. Compare that to the Tamron 70-180 lens, which I can pop into that same slot, and the zipper will easily go over it, and I still have room to spare for more lenses and my camera body or a jacket. So this lens is super great for sticking in bags that typically would not hold a super telephoto f2.8 lens. And the third thing to know about this lens is that it does not have image stabilization built in, which is pretty typical if you look at the rest of the lenses in the Tamron Holy Trinity. None of them have IS or image stabilization, and Tamron says that's because a lot of Sony cameras that you're going to use these lenses with already have built-in image stabilization. In the case of Sony, that's called Steady Shot. The camera that I use the most with this lens is the Sony A7riii, and it does indeed have Steady Shot built in. It's not the best IBIS or in-body stabilization that I've seen on the market, but it works pretty well, and it actually complements this lens super well. I was shocked by how stable the footage was when I was shooting video with this 70-180 and my Sony A7riii. It did surprisingly well, and it actually backs up Tamron's claim that you don't really need image stabilization built into the lens. So even though there's no image stabilization in this lens, it's not necessarily a deal breaker if you shoot video or if you shoot at low shutter speeds. So those are 3 really key things to know about this lens, but here are a few bonus points as well. This is a super simple and straightforward lens. There are just 2 rubber barrels. The one closest to the camera controls the focus, and the other one controls the zoom. This lens does extend when it's being zoomed. There's only one physical switch on the lens, and that is to lock that zoom into place so that it doesn't move while you're in transit. Other than that, this lens is super easy to use, and it works extremely well with Sony E-mount cameras. You get all of the autofocus that you're used to in your Sony camera, including eye detect for both humans and animals. The image quality is also great for both stills and videos. It's tack sharp and the colors really pop. So bottom line, should you get this lens? If you're on a budget and you need a super compact telephoto lens, then yes, this is an excellent option. If you're thinking about getting this lens, then I would get it at the first possible chance that you can, because it's been in high demand ever since it came out, because so many people want an affordable and compact telephoto lens. The price point is right and the image quality is stunning for how much it costs. But enough about that. I'm going to leave you with some sample footage and sample photos so you can see exactly what this lens is capable of. Here's some sample footage that we shot while on a road trip to Dry Falls, a natural area here in Washington State.
Just the lens?
So we stopped here at Dry Lake and wanted to test out our zooms. Here I have the Tamron 70-180 f2.8 and we are testing it out on wildlife in the area. So we found like some little, look like overgrown squirrels, almost like marmots or like little beavers. So we're filming them kind of eating and looking through the grass. And then I started getting closer. I actually found up here, there's a nest of what I think are starlings.
We just found wildlife, and this time we're properly equipped actually.
The 70-180, which I can, on the Sony full frame you can crop in, so you can actually get a little bit closer than 180. And it was actually perfect for this setting where the animals weren't too far away, and yeah, they let us get relatively close to them. If you'd like to see the full travel vlog from that trip, then please check out the link in the description below. I'll also leave you with a question. Have you tried the Tamron 70-180 f2.8 lens? And if so, would you recommend it for others? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.